Mr. Kiran Khambampati. He is Associate Principal BMGI with over 20 years of diverse industry and consulting experience. He is Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt and Innovation Master experience across strategy planning and deployment, innovation, ocean planning and balance scorecard deployment, business process management, training and coaching that works with clients to help them develop and deploy various strategies and performance excellence methodologies. He has international experience across UAE, China, Singapore, and Bangladesh. Further, he has also conducted public seminars in the Middle East. Mr. Kiran has been a speaker, panelist, and published author on national level business forums such as FICCI and PMI National Conference. Today, Mr. Karan will give us a brief view on onward and upward post-COVID transformation for the heavy engineering equipment and machine tools industry in India. So delegates, let's welcome Mr. Kiran.
So I'll not take too long. The way I have kind of split this deck is a very brief introduction to what BMGI is into, Breakthrough Management Group International. And more importantly, what is relevant to today's discussion is how we are foreseeing, both in terms of the economy and the industry, and some key levers that will help in the recovery of the industry. And it's been very fascinating to listen to all the panelists. In fact, thanks Saurabh, Mr. Puranik and Mr. Sekhar for sharing your experience and insights. And in fact, I'd like to add here that I have directly worked with as a client, the Godrej Group and the ABB Group, and the earth moving, yes, maybe not BEML, but another MNC in the earth moving equipment. So I could really relate to many of the points that have been brought up here. And hopefully we will have a very fruitful discussion later on, and of course share our views. So I'll just quickly go through what I have. And BMGI, Breakthrough Management Group International, is a consulting organization spread across 5 continents, and we have offices across. And we our primary offerings are in the area of strategy planning, operations, innovation. And we work across industries. We are agnostic to industries, so whether it's manufacturing or services. So the company and the team has experience across. And then, of course, we are just looking to work with clients and deliver better results. And we've got a large list. I'll not take much time in going through each of these, but basically just a quick overview, because that way, compared to some of the companies here, we are very small as a company, and with the breadth and the depth of work has been pretty immense. And that's what challenges us to work with clients and help them, and on a joint journey, whether it's in terms of strategy or innovation or solving problems or transforming the business. And that's what we are looking forward to even right through COVID and post-COVID. We have been working with our clients both on-site and virtually to go ahead. So this is a little bit introduction on what we have. So I'll just quickly skip to what our topic for today is. And when we thought about this topic, it's more in terms of looking at how the economy is kind of opening up. Of course, there are positives and negatives, and the positives, of course, there's a broad-based global rebound, and there's a pent-up demand across industries, and economies are opening up and stabilizing. But obviously, the negatives could be things like chip shortage, supply chain bottlenecks, and maybe COVID could be a possible spoil sport. So the whole world has gone through this, and hopefully we are emerging out of it. And stronger than before. But some of the key focus areas that we have seen across clients, specifically for heavy engineering goods and machine tools, is how do we look at scalability and cost structures and build in more efficiencies. And of course, I think very valid point put forward by at least two of our panelists before me was that we probably need to get back into exports in a big way. So hopefully exports are getting normalized as we speak, and how do we garner a share there, especially when we are competing with other more established countries and players. So how do we get into that in a bigger way? So it's almost like a reset, and how do we establish ourselves post-COVID? Now, if you see already, in terms of the announcements across the sectors, whether it's the conventional sectors or the new generation sectors, a lot of action has been happening. Conventional sectors, whether it's steel, cement, chemicals, or the new gen, sectors like EVs, batteries, data centers, renewables. So what is happening is that there has been a lot of announcements for capex expansion, and that's where I guess we need to have a bigger play and ensure that heavy engineering and machine tools are in the right space there, and ensuring that we get a good pie of the action. And if you were to look at some of the announcements in the last couple of quarters, especially, is we have it's a mix of brownfield expansion announced by some companies, and capacity enhancement, renewables, EV batteries. Almost every week there is a big announcement somewhere or the other. I should probably update this slide saying Ola also in this, but there's been a lot of action across, and how do we ensure that our technologies, our offerings are catering to these companies, these industries, and not just industries and companies, but also the trends, the larger trends that we are seeing across customers, across markets, and how our preferences changing, and how do we innovate, how do we build products, how do we redesign or improve our existing offerings to ensure that we are capturing the customer insights well, and then catering to the products, catering to the customers much better. So if you see, there are some force multipliers. Of course, each of these could probably take at least 10-15 minutes to talk on. I'm just doing a very topical approach here in terms of the time constraint. So I think already Saurabh has talked about it, and Mr. Sekhar also has given examples in his presentation. So there's a lot of automation, digital adoption. Government has announced a lot of PLI schemes, so PLI-led capex. So hopefully these are going to be force multipliers in the very near future, to ensure that the industries get that boost post the COVID. And then, of course, what I'm talking about in terms of all these are external, which means what the customers are talking about, what the markets are talking about. This also has to be coupled very strongly with internal levers. How do we ensure that companies are competitive enough, are competent enough to carve out a space here? And for that matter, how do we use some of these trends to our advantage? So if there are external trends, how do we ensure that they are made capable within the organization? And I'll take maybe one or two examples to talk about this slide, whether we talk about digitalization or changing trends, data analytics. So and of course existing robust manufacturing excellence methodologies, which are always there. So in terms of I'll take 2-3 bullets here in terms of digitalization and data analytics. I'll just give you a personal experience. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've been working with a multi-billion-dollar manufacturing company, especially in the pharma space. So what was really felt was to ensure that the manufacturing and the quality is up to the mark. There has to be a lot of analytics. Now, it's not been a sector traditionally where on the shop floor, there's a lot of analytics. So there's been a huge movement in that client in terms of how to make the workforce capable in terms of tools and techniques to ensure that the quality is improved. And not just that, even the equipment. Since we're talking about customized equipment, we're talking about large-scale equipment. How do we make them much more intelligent, much more capable? So how do we have real-time data? And this is not just for pharma. This is for any industry. How do we have not just the people intelligent, but also the machines being intelligent? So do we get real-time data for all the parameters which we can take a dump, and then of course we can do the analysis to say that if these are the 5 parameters that are being controlled, and what is the best possible combination which will give you the best possible quality and least possible rejects, and hence repeat orders, so better top line and lesser rejects, so better profitability, so on and so forth. So how do we make all this come together? And it's been a pretty difficult but exciting journey to ensure that both the machine and the man become capable in it, because I think I recollect what Saurabh mentioned, that it's about hardware, software, and expertise. So all of that coming together, how do we make that happen in a certain ecosystem? And not just that, in terms of changing trends, customer preferences, and market trends, right? We have seen very large conglomerates who are present in multiple industries, who are, and I think this was also talked about by Mr. Sekhar in terms of startups being, encouraged by these companies. So how do we ensure that there is a good ecosystem for new ideas, for business, for products and services? So, very large manufacturing organizations like a Reliance or Mahindra, we work with them to, have a very good, innovation ecosystem built within, and how do we ensure that we get into newer products and businesses, or improve existing products and services. And the last point I'll probably say is, robust manufacturing excellence methodologies. These are something that have been there for a very long time anyway. It's no rocket science. It's just a good thing to do. Something as simple as lean or TPM, very good practices which are, we're working with. We're soon going to start work with a very large client outside India who's into the transportation space, and they are looking at how to ensure that the equipment and there's no breakdown, autonomous maintenance, all of the good practices. How do we ensure that they are incorporated into the organization, not just talking about it, but also implementing it. So these are the kinds of diverse, what views we have seen, what experiences we have personally worked across industries and geographies, and that's what kind of we are seeing in terms of the recovery, and so-called green shoots are bigger than that now. They're becoming pretty robust in terms of the growth, and hoping for a very good quarter ahead and the year ahead, and hopefully we have left the COVID impact, large part of it behind, and it's only upward now. So that's why I said onward and upward. So thanks very much to all of you for listening in, and looking forward to the next session and fielding questions if any. Thanks.